Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Uh, I am doing well, and I'm doing something, as I mentioned in the last video, which is different to whatever I've done in the past, and that is being part of an election campaign here in Goa. To give you a background, for those who are in India, they would be aware that India is going through an election process in 7 stages. Each stage has a combination of regions. So our region goes on the 7th of May, that is the day after tomorrow. So my point of discussion is basically participation or voting in a democracy. And as I mentioned before, everything links to my circle of mastery, which I shared with you earlier in my video. And one of the things out of the set of things was impact. So impact, of course, could be many things. It could be making the place better, working with a charity, helping children, helping old age, doing something better for the environment, and so many other things. I also believe impact is also an impact as a citizen. A citizen could be many things, but the perspective I am talking about is what I would like to define as a responsible citizen who or he or she is aware of how the country is governed, aware of the positives, aware of the negatives, keeps a check on the politicians or administrators who are ruling, and very importantly, not only voice out but also votes. So voting is what I want to talk about particularly, which I believe for me as a person is very important to have a say in the way the affairs of my country are run. Now, the voting could be at different levels. It could be the local body elections, it could be the state elections, and particularly in terms of this one, it is a national election to the Indian Parliament. Now, I'm not here to lecture people on who they should support or whether why they must take part in politics, why they should be, maybe questioning the politicians, should be voting. That is not my place to say because everybody here can take their own decision. What I'm here to say is my experience of what I do, why I do it. Maybe I can influence some people, if at all, and to give a background of why I do the things that I do, particularly in this regard of taking part in politics in whatever little way that I do, and also how my wish is to make things better. So I would like to start with a quote. It's a Greek philosopher. His name is Plato, and he says the the punishment, okay, for people who don't want to be interested in politics is to be governed by inferiors, right? There's another quote by Edmund Burke who says that all is required for evil to succeed is for the good people to do nothing. So these kind of quotes, and there are some other great ones as well, by some great people, which have influenced me in making my voice heard, influenced me in taking a decision, which I feel personally right for my community, my country, my state, and hopefully shapes a brighter future for all of us. When I say country, I also mean it has to go beyond in terms of global affairs because we're all part of a big community. So that is one part of it. The second part of it is that, unfortunately, I love history. So I have read, studied in school, and then because I was interested in history, I went further and did a lot of reading into earlier personalities, earlier events, wars, good things, bad things. And what I realized is that generally, what I feel is people in the democratic world underestimate or the threat to freedom. And this freedom, it has, if you go back in history, it has been fought by so many people, even giving their lives, okay, for that freedom. And the little that I can do is try to keep that freedom alive. Now, fortunately, we are in a democratic country, which is, people can categorize at various levels of democracy, but generally a democratic country. And versus what I personally see in people in autocratic countries, a lot of repression. They have no say. Uh, a group of people will be running the country, and the freedoms are basically lost. And the country also, in the worst case, is not progressing anywhere in the terms of the benefit for the people. Of course, there are other countries who also have a limited democracy, but those countries fortunately have great rulers who do things for the people, and also invite participation by the citizens. So that's a third category also. But my particular one is the second one, which a lot of autocracy and people are not getting the benefit of the state. So this is the second reason I said it. I cannot undervalue or not respect the fact that I have freedom, and respect the people who fought for the freedom. So I have to be part of it. So this particular election was something is different because the earlier election I was interested, and I used to do my part, and I used to write, and I used to critique, and I used to praise. But why it is different this time is because I am here on the ground. Well, unlike earlier, I used to be overseas. And you can call it a good thing or bad thing. Why a good thing? Is because first time I felt a candidate who is really worthy was given a ticket, right? Or the party ticket to stand. Somebody I knew very well. And I felt that if more people like these get elected, okay, not only from here, it could be multiple places, it could improve the caliber of a parliament, it could improve the caliber of a country, administration, and the overall progress of our country will go faster. So that is why it's different for me. There are a lot of people who have different views on voting. You know, some people say, "Why should I vote? I don't get back anything from the country. It will not make a difference." And they have their reasons, and I'm not here to put a sort of an argument with those people, right? Although sometimes I'm tempted to, but then I respect their decision. As I said, I'm just telling my view of why I vote. And also, if I'm a responsible citizen, right, by voting, right, I have the right to critique the government. If I don't vote in the first place or participate in the democratic process and say in my opinion or my preference the wrong person comes in, then I don't have actually a say, because I didn't vote anyway. If I had voted and still the wrong person comes in, my thought process is I've done my part anyway, right? And this is the reason I just do what I have to do. Now, this particular election, I don't know whether candidate I am backing. By the way, this is the first time I'm publicly backing a candidate, because I know this person for 5 to 6 years. So I don't know whether this candidate will win or not, although he stands a very good chance, right? But myself with a lot of people are doing what we can to help this candidate win. And mind you, I am not a part of any political party, and I'm not in any or have any experience in running campaigns. But we're doing what we can, and a lot of people have commented that it's the first time in Goa they're actually seeing a section of people rising up to take the campaign to the next level. So I've given my point of view, all right, why I do these things. and also I accept there could be a different argument. I just if I want to give a suggestion, maybe, all right. I believe that we are in this collective, like a collective community, and we're all here to make things better. And it's better that we participate. Now we would participate, for example, in a football team, and if we participate, the team goes further, or a cricket team, or whatever. And for us to make the country go further, I also believe we have to participate. Now I also understand in politics, I might feel that I am participating, and another person might feel they are participating, but the preference of the party or the ideology will be different, and they might end up along it. I understand that, and that is something which is a part of politics. And all I can say is that as long as we do our part, and as long as we respect the other person, I think that is a good way to go about it. Now there could be times where you really feel that person is not participating in an ideology which is beneficial, and maybe it's a different kind of ideology, right? But then the thing is, only you can, and that's my point of view, is that I can just say, okay, this is my point of view, strengthen my argument, okay, and do it the best I can, and without letting any frustration get back to me, because I believe doing something is better than doing nothing, right? So this particular discussion on politics, on vote, is not only is related to the voting I'm talking about. So I would go to vote on 7th of May, but because I voted now, of course, waiting for the candidate, maybe the candidate I support wins, or maybe not. It carries interest all through to the next election. So speaking up for what is right, speaking up for the good things that the government has done, speaking for the things that the government is not doing or doing wrong. So creating awareness to people, right? And that is the best I can do, and I let people judge whether who they want to support. Using my skills, my experience to educate people, to show them something beyond what they might not be aware about. Me myself learning from others, right? Others, and sharing that knowledge. And this kind of sharing of knowledge, and empowering the voters, educating the voters, okay, will only help in a democracy. India has good press and bad press. Now I don't want to talk about the bad press, because many of you would be aware about it. What I want to talk about is the good side. The positive thing about this country, unlike any country in the world, okay, is number one, in terms of democratic numbers, it is the number one democratic country in the world, right? It's a different matter how we rate on democracy versus others, but in terms of a democratic country definition. The second thing I believe is that our diversity, whether it be to religion, whether it be the different types of communities, the different type of languages, makes it a very, very good example should a democratic process excel, and we can be a role model for outside. When I say outside, I'm talking about in terms of tolerance, in terms of progression, in terms of diversity, in terms of so many things. I cannot see any other country which comes close to India in terms of this demographic diversity that India has. And also, it's not only a democratic diversity, it has a long history. It's one of the oldest civilization in the world. So you have the oldest civilization, you have a diversity. Of course, geographically, it's a land of all seasons, which is very unique to India. So we can be actually a role model for democracy, not only to the current democracies in the world, but also fledgling democracies. Countries want to be democratic. Now, the other argument would be that democracy itself has its flaws or its faults. For example, democracy can be manipulated on religious basis, on ethnic basis, on caste basis. That is absolutely true, and that is where democracy goes wrong. And it does not only go wrong maybe in countries like India, it also goes wrong in countries like in the West, right? I don't want to name the countries, but in my opinion, it's a common global problem. That is where, coming back to my point, people come in, where it's our responsibility to be part of the democratic process, and I'm repeating it now, to educate voters, to empower voters, to share things, to keep the officials accountable, politicians accountable, speak up, because if we don't speak up, then democracy loses its power to run effectively. So it depends finally on the people to do the best thing, and not just in a way of partisan politics or things that we like, or we have a prejudice towards, right? And the more we participate, that those things I believe will come down. So this was just a candid conversation on the subject of democracy, of voting. Why I share it is just because for me, it links to, yes, the impact on my circle of mastery, but also it helps. It makes me feel that I'm living a fulfilling life, which is also fits into my break free and live your best life um, mission. Is because it's not only about having the luxury, traveling, enjoying good food, family time. It's also being part of something bigger. So that is why I thought it was worthwhile to share my experience of what I do, in this in politics, right? And many people say, are you in politics? I believe you could be in politics. That means you only want to be in politics and win elections and get power, or you could be a step above politics. So a person might have really an intention to do to good things, to make things better, to make administration better, to make the streets more cleaner, the cleaning more effective, the hospitals run better. That gone through politics is a better way, and that is something which I want to do, rather than just starting in politics. No, it is starting above that. So I thought I'll share this with you as the election fever is going on. The last day of campaigning was today, right? And that is, now we've got one day of cooling down, you might say, and then we go into polls. So hope I could share something which might make you think, or might make you feel that you want to share something with me, and maybe we can together collaborate maybe and make things better for the place we live in, country, and as I said, more importantly, also to a global family. So thank you for your patient hearing. If you feel this was interesting and beneficial to you, please do like. You're welcome to leave your comment, and if you feel you want to share, please do so. So thank you very much, and have a great day and a nice week. Bye.